Hello, I'm Bailey Leisure, and I'm back with another NFL video as I recap what happened in the wild card round of the 2019 NFL playoffs. So to start off with the first game that happened in the wild card round, the Indianapolis Colts against the Houston Texans. This was a game pretty much just dominated by Indy in the first half. I mean, Andrew Luck was just red hot in this game. He ended up finishing with over 220 yards passing and a couple touchdowns. Marlon Mack, he had a huge game, running for almost 150 yards, ran for a touchdown. T.Y. Hilton had a big first half. He caught 5 passes for over 85 yards. Eric Ebron caught a touchdown. They scored all their points in the first half, and they just shut down that Houston offense. Were able to contain Deshaun Watson. And I think Houston, they just looked flat this entire game. Just defensively, they couldn't stop Andrew Luck in the first half, and just that offense, unfortunately, could not catch up. And Indy just dominated Houston and won this game 21-7. And I gotta say, Indy, they got they come in with a lot of momentum, and they might be a surprise team this upcoming week when they face the Kansas City Chiefs. Moving on to the other Saturday matchup, as the Indy-Houston game started Saturday with Saturday games. The other Saturday game was the Seattle Seahawks against the Dallas Cowboys. This was a much more competitive game. Both teams. I gotta say, one of the shocking things, the Seattle Seahawks did not throw the ball. Russell Wilson did not throw the ball that much, and I think that was a difference in why Seattle lost this game. I mean, Russell Wilson was throwing, some great passes in this game, and they just decided to run the ball more often, not with that much success either. I mean, Chris Carson, he ran the ball 13 times in this game. He only ran for 20 yards. That was very disappointing for them. Dallas, they had a couple injuries in this game. Cole Beasley was down a little bit. Unfortunately, we saw that Allen Hurns injury, and that was a bad ankle injury. My thoughts out to him. I mean, that was definitely, hopefully he recovers soon after that, but that was just not good. But Dallas defensively, it was a really grind out battle between both quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks were able to run in this game. Ezekiel Elliott had a huge game, running for over 137 yards and a touchdown. Dak Prescott, he converted a huge running play that pretty much ended the game when it was a 3rd and 15. And they went up by 2 scores with less than 2 minutes left, and that pretty much sealed the game for them as they won this game 24-22. Moving on to the Sunday matchups, the Chargers against the Ravens. The Chargers just defensively, Lamar Jackson, I think, is being in his first playoff game of his career in his rookie year. That definitely showed. He did not really look good up until the fourth quarter. I mean, there were people online calling for Joe Flacco. In fact, I probably would have maybe contemplated putting him in. But the Chargers, they didn't score a lot of points, but I mean, their field goal kicker, Badgley, he just did a good job. The defense, they converted. I think the big difference in this game was all the fumbles that the Baltimore Ravens had. Lamar Jackson fumbled the ball 3 times, lost that last one, which pretty much sealed the game late in this game. The offense for the Chargers wasn't any better, but I think defensively, they just played very well, and I think the Ravens' bad start, it just couldn't come back from, and the Chargers were able to hold on and win this game 23-17. And then the final matchup, the Eagles versus the Bears. This was another pretty grind out. This was a defensive battle, and the Eagles, Nick Foles, he played a little bit sluggish in this game. They had 2 bad interceptions. They helped the running attack, and I was not surprised how the Bears played defensively, but I was really surprised at the Philadelphia Eagles secondary. They played very well at going up against, opposed to the Bears defense. I mean, they played very well in this game. This was a close game. It came down to that 4th down play. Nick Foles, he threw that touchdown to Golden Tate. They were able to go up by 1 point. The Bears still had 40 seconds. They got into field goal range when Cody Parkey made the kick that's been talked about a lot since Sunday. That kick where he hit the uprights and then it went off the crossbar and went out. That's happened to a lot of his kicks this year, where they've hit the goalpost, and the Bears lost in shocking fashion to the Philadelphia Eagles as they move on, and they will play the New Orleans Saints next week. I think Nick Foles, he's just, he's making his case every The more and more he advances in these playoffs, the more it's going to be a really tough decision for the Philadelphia Eagles if they want to keep Nick Foles around or do they stick with Carson Wentz going forward. Nick Foles, the more, every time this guy wins, he's just making a harder case. He's making the Philadelphia Eagles' job of picking who's going to be their quarterback going forward in the future just much harder. And that's it for my wild card round recap. Thanks everybody for watching. Check out, obviously, later this week I will be having my divisional picks. Hopefully I picked better than I did last week. Went 1-4 in picks. Also, since there's some head coaching hirings that have happened, I'm going to do a video on that. I'm just waiting for all the head coaches to be hired. That there's 8 spots. I think a couple of them have already been filled. I think 3 of them as I'm recording this video. So check out that video as well. I'll be commenting on the head coaches hirings. Check out for the divisional predictions and preview video coming up later this week. Follow me on Twitter at BaileyLaser96. Click like if you like the video, subscribe, and leave your comments below on what you thought of the wild card weekend, this past weekend in the 2019 NFL playoffs. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you later.